Hello, dear Sagittarius. I am Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your May 2021 horoscope. And we're going to talk about all this Gemini energy, but we have an eclipse in your sign at the end of the month. So that's a big moment for you. Some of you have already been feeling it, especially because it was set up back on December 14th. So this is an eclipse that sort of bookends that eclipse in December. And we can be feeling the effects of an eclipse, you in particular, because it's in your sign, a month before or a month after. And let's just talk about how Mercury is going to be entering your opposite sign of Gemini on May 4th in the seventh house. So your seventh house themes, partnerships, marriage, contracts, relationships, even relocation is up for discussion. You may have ideas that are where you're thinking really a lot about different options that you might have. Maybe if you're in a bonded relationship, that you and your partner are saying, what are our options here? We've been through life XYZ. We just came off of a full moon in Scorpio, which was very deep and healing and intensive. And now it's like we've hopefully released some things that needed to be released. And we are looking at what our options are or what we need to discuss or think about in order to move forward in our partnership in the future. And we have Venus moving into Gemini in that seventh house as well on May 9th. So this also is another powerful indication that you're going to be looking at your relationships. It's not just personal or romantic, it's also business and partnerships. And if you think about it from a seventh house perspective, this is really about relation. How do I relate to this particular item, this particular person? What is it for? So in other words, you may be looking at attracting some finances into your life that you need to decide, make a decision about how you want to use it, but you need to know what it's for. Why do you have the decisions to be made anyways? Did something happen? Did something show up that you maybe was new, maybe it was foreign, maybe it's something you just haven't dealt with before, and now you're going, I got to figure out how to, why it's here and how I actually can use it in relationship to something in my life. The other thing I would say is that your mind, you'll be thinking a lot about relationship or finances or what you value. It's also possible that if it's not affecting you, it could be affecting your partner, or it could be affecting somebody who you feel in partnership with. So we also have, I'm going to bring us into this new moon in Taurus in your sixth house on May 11th, because that's going to be activating more of this energy of what do I do with this? I have some intentions of being of greater service. I want to be able to be useful. So your mind will most likely be looking at all these different options. When this new moon in Taurus in the sixth house happens, it's like, okay, I'm trying to understand what my options are and what they're for, and then how I can be of service, or how these things can serve me. Does this relationship still serve me? If it doesn't, maybe I need to let it go. And that's part of the activation of that full moon in Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius, you love philosophy, you love belief systems, you love foreign travel, long distance, that opening the mind, you like freedom. And so it's possible, even though you are looking at relationship, you're also looking at where have I believed that I wasn't free within the relationship that I now need to let go of, or do I let go of this relationship so I can have greater freedom? Those are some things that may be coming up, because if you're looking at planting seeds at the new moon in Taurus in that sixth house of your daily work, your routine, your health, if the relationship hasn't been healthy, if it holds you back from being able to freely express yourself in a way that can be of great service to others or to your partnerships, then you may end up letting it go. On May 13th, Jupiter will dip its toe into Pisces in your fourth house of home. This is also a good indication many of you Sages will be looking at relocating your home. You may decide that you stay, but there's deep healing, there's big healing that takes place within the home, maybe some greater compassion that needs to come up. Also, if you need opportunities, maybe to heal the past. Maybe it's to work with parents or with psychological upbringing that shaped your belief system that now you're redoing. Now you're expanding and opening your mind through a healing process. And healing, most people, when they hear that word, they go, oh God, this is going to be painful. Not always. Sometimes it's a healing. Let's say you have scars, moles, things like that on the surface of your skin, and you go to a dermatologist to have them repaired or removed. And then you need time for healing, stay out of the sun, right? I think about tattoos because I recently got a new tattoo, and it does break the skin, and you need to cover it and keep it clean so that it can heal. And so that's what you may be experiencing for a couple of months while Jupiter is in Pisces in that fourth house, is that there could be some scars, there could be some new things that just are there. Maybe you welcomed it and it needs time to heal. Also, I would say that when the sun enters Gemini, activating your seventh house that much more on May 20th, that there's this square, it's a natural square that happens between the seventh and the fourth house. So there's that tension that can come in where you can apply this healing salve to whatever challenges may show up. And I would venture to say, Sag, that what you're going to be challenged by will most likely be you and your partner, if you're in a bonded relationship, maybe fighting for a particular cause, fighting together, it's an opportunity to come together united. Again, if you are, excuse me, in a relationship that is not serving and it doesn't, it's not good for you, it's not healthy for you, then this tension can help you release it. Single Sages, let me just touch on that. I will say that this month in particular will have you really focused on, who do I want to partner with? Is this person really somebody who holds the same values I have? Will they allow me to do the things that I believe in, that I really want to do? Do they align? And so if you're casually dating somebody, you will either deeply commit or let it go. I feel like there's this extreme that happens. It's one or the other, because this is your ascendant descendant happening. So this is about selfhood, the ascendant, versus partnership, which is the descendant. And so you're looking at, does this relationship, personal or professional, line up with who I want to become in the world and who I want to become personally? The other thing we have, as I mentioned, is that full moon. It's on May 26th, 27th, depending on where you are in the world. And it is, again, in your first house. So you may find yourself letting go of something that gives you an opportunity to show up differently to others. This is where you may decide that you're starting a new, let's say, health routine, and you're changing your looks through that health routine, because that sixth house new moon activation on May 11th could have said, I need to start something different in my life on a health level. It's also possible that this full moon could have you having some sort of surgery that beautifies you, or that removes something that you feel was not necessarily making you feel as attractive or wanting how you want to be seen. Maybe you're changing your hair. It doesn't have to be something like surgery. It could just be, something aesthetic, if you will. But again, with this being in Sagittarius, in your sign, I really feel as though this has a lot more to do with what you believe about yourself. How do you view yourself in the mirror? And then how do you show up? What kind of clothes do you wear? How do you present your attitude or your belief system to others? And this is also a chance for many of you Sages to maybe let go. You may have to let go of a job or a situation so that you can then move into this deeper partnership, or so that because you're looking at that seventh house and you're going, what's my value here? Does this still have value? If it doesn't, I need to let that go. We're going to have more support here in that seventh house for you with Mercury going retrograde. And I say support because even though it is in its ruling sign of Gemini, and in your seventh house and retrograde, what it will do is it will help you, if your partner is somebody, you and your partner, go really internal, talking maybe behind the scenes with each other, putting some plans together. It's a good time for researching, reevaluating. Are we where we want to be? Is this really what we want to go after together? If you're single, it may be that those from the past, maybe there's a previous relationship that sort of petered out, or there was no communication, that suddenly they come back and you get to revisit some of those issues. You get to talk about, hey, you know what? I really don't want to stay in that form of the relationship. I'd rather have this form. Do we line up? Are we, because we're not the same people today that we were yesterday, right? One other pin on the map, May 23rd, Saturn will retrograde in your third house, which is about communication. It's also about neighborhood, it's local community. It's about how you show up in your everyday situations, if you will. And so I would venture to say that it's another pin on the map that's indicating to me, many of you Sagittarius may be relocating. You may leave your neighborhood, sell your home, move into another one, maybe not going too far. And yet I sense some Sagittarius will end up even leaving the state or the country. This does indicate short distance travel as well in that third house. And your long distance travel is a Sagittarius Jupiter kind of energy, ninth house. And with the Saturn being in the third house, I would venture to say that you will probably let go of some of the short trips and make longer trips. And so this could also be where you organize your thoughts and you're allowing yourself to look at certain situations and information and say, okay, I need to, now that I've let go of this belief system for myself and how I show up, I need to restructure what that looks like, how I communicate it to others, and using your words. This is also a good indication, Sag, that many of you will be reevaluating. Maybe you released a book or you released a course or you're in school, that you may have to change some of the classes. You may have to look at the, let's say, the book that you wrote and reevaluate it and just say, okay, let me rewrite a lot of that, maybe put a new outline together, that sort of thing. Some of you may be dealing with a sibling situation with Saturn here in this third house. And it could be a very positive thing where you're helping your brother or your sister to reorganize some of the ways in which they live their life, and you're that great helper that helps to put everything in its place with them. There is an indication here that you may have to gather support from your sibling as well. Okay, Sag, this is generalized. Remember, it's for your sun, moon, rising sign. I hope that this helps. Please find me at jamiedawn.com. I'd love to sit down with you individually and go into more detail, because this is very generalized. All right, let me know how it goes. Like, subscribe, share, comment, and I look forward to hearing. Take care, everybody.